Welcome to Chamonix Mont Blanc, facing the highest peak in Europe and with breathtaking views. This is considered one of the best ski resorts in Europe. But is it really? Let's go find out!
After experiencing Chamonix for myself, I'd say there is one reason I'd come back. So as I rate Chamonix on 5 key aspects of any ski destination, discover what would make me come back and what sadly disappointed me.
The biggest downside of Chamonix is probably
starting with the slopes and the scenery. I mean, you are skiing amongst the tallest, most imposing peaks of Europe, so the view really is unbeatable.
super excited. The sun is coming out now. It's gonna be a great sunny day.
As I recently got a serious knee injury and surgery, I was quite careful on the slopes. I'm also not an expert skier. I would call myself intermediary, and my husband's also not an expert on the snowboard yet. So we naturally gravitated towards blue slopes in the beginning. And as far as blue slopes, there are not a lot of them in Chamonix. Most of the blue slopes are short, which means you quickly finish them and then you have to spend 5-10 minutes on the lifts. But there was a long one that took you from the main lift back into the town downhill, and it took a lot to finish. It was fun to ski because as we dropped in altitude, we slowly got swallowed by low clouds and it got chilly and dark very quick. And since we are back in town, for now, let's talk ski rental and ski pass. The rentals are conveniently located next to the lifts. Prices were pretty competitive and you could also get a discount if you were taking lessons from the next door ski school. The ski pass was around 50 euros per day and you can also get bundles or pay a slightly higher fee to be able to ski in both Chamonix and Les Houches. The resorts are not connected though, so you need to move between them by yourself, by car or by bus. I always feel in awe at the views when going on the lift. So pretty and vertiginous. After some time, I gained some confidence and started gathering the courage to go on the red slopes.
I'm wondering if I could be able to go on the red slope, but I'm afraid to try.
Next station, red slope.
So will I have the guts to do it?
A few moments later.
Just did 2 red ones and I'm very proud of myself. After an injury, it's always difficult, so I'm happy.
Now for the final vote.
The view is gorgeous, I have to say. All these mountains look amazing.
Definitely 5 out of 5. Regarding facilities and infrastructure, I would say the slopes are well connected and there is also decent public transportation to go between ski lifts. However, we found some things were missing. For example, finding a good spa was a challenge because most thermal facilities didn't accept more than 4 people per reservation, or they didn't accept children, or they had very limited time slots. Only 4 of us ended up going to a hotel that had daily passes to their spa. I think it ended up costing 30 euros per person for 1 hour, and it was okay, nothing fancy. Grocery-wise, there was a decent supermarket near our house, and the prices were okay considering it's a touristy location. There was very good cheese, as you would expect in France. Weirdly though, there were some things that we were unable to find, for example, barbecue charcoal, not even at the gas stations. So we ended up using plain wood for a barbecue and that was fine. For this reason, I would give facilities a 3 out of 5. While on a ski trip, you definitely want to take some rest time and explore the local town, and Chamonix should definitely not be missed. It has very interesting restaurants, cafes and shops, so it's just a really nice place for a stroll. Now a bit of fascinating history facts. The town was discovered as a touristy destination in 1704 by 2 English travelers, and tourism started booming after that. The first luxury hotel opened in 1816, while the first Chamonix Railway was inaugurated in 1901. But what sealed the fate of Chamonix was that it hosted the very first Winter Olympics in 1924. They weren't even called Olympics at first. It was the International Winter Sports Week, and it had such an enormous success that they changed the name to Winter Olympics, and the tradition continues to this day. We were exploring the town in the early morning, and because of the shade, it was very cold, so we were looking for a nice spot to drink something warm and eat something sweet. We ended up going to this pastry. The pastries looked amazing. It was difficult to choose, but luckily I was not alone, so we chose a bunch of them and shared them. The first one is the Mont Blanc with cream and chestnut puree with this iconic noodle shape. It was a solid 7 out of 10. Then the tarte aux framboises is a classic and it did not disappoint. I think that was my favorite. The tarte au citron is my personal favorite dessert, but this one, not the best. And then we had the eclair, but I'm not really a fan of eclairs per general. The prices were a bit high, but I guess it's normal for a ski town like Chamonix. I also tackled my mission of finding my traditional souvenirs. My husband and I collect Christmas ornaments, and I ended up getting this one, which looks very nice on our tree. I'm very happy with this choice. And then I also got stickers for our suitcases. Chamonix is definitely a 5 out of 5. I really enjoyed visiting the town, and they invented alpinism after all, so one might argue that we owe our entire way of living the mountain to the history of this town, which is amazing. And while the sweets in Chamonix were a treat, the food on the slopes was a big miss, and honestly the biggest disappointment for me. I'm used to the tastiest mountain food in Italy. I know it's the same in Germany or Austria, Switzerland, and I've had some amazing food in Ukraine a few years ago. So unfortunately the food was a sad reality check. Tasteless and very limited options. The prices on the other hand were very generous. Even a hot wine cost between 7 or 8 euros, which was a shock for me. Maybe we were unlucky, maybe we didn't choose the right spot, but honestly I'm used to good food being the rule. On the slopes, not the exception, so we just ended up making homemade sandwiches. Having good food on the slopes is part of the experience, so it was a 2 out of 5 for me. And now for the final vote, the part that would even make me consider going back to Chamonix is housing. We traveled as a big group of 12 people, and finding a place to accommodate this many people was a challenge. We were looking into Italy, Austria, and Switzerland, but Chamonix offered a lot of chalet options with 5 or more ensuite rooms, which was a deal breaker for us, and our house was incredibly equipped, so traveling as a large group was a piece of cake because we had a garage, 3 or 4 washers, plus as many dryers. We had heated racks for our skis and boots, and even a small sauna. And then we had, I think, 5 or 6 bedrooms. And we had as many baths, and then we had 2 kitchens and 2 living rooms. And the kitchens were fully equipped, meaning 2 dishwashers, 2 ovens, and plenty of tableware. So we cooked a lot of homemade meals and we cozied up around the fire. We even partied because we had a complimentary speaker, so we had music. And this all came down to 300-400 euros per couple, which ended up being really cheap. In the end, Chamonix really stood out for its beautiful landscapes and the memories we made as a group. I would love to know what your favorite ski destinations are in Europe, so I can take notes for next year. And if you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing for more, and I will see you very soon.
Next year, different destination and hopefully better skills. Bye!